Here we go, bars loaded.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the very first ever para-bench powerlifting session for USA Powerlifting here at the Arnold Sports Festival in Greater Columbus Convention Center in Columbus, Ohio. My name is Nick Stevens, and I'm joined by
Lance London.
And we are going to give you our coverage of the para-bench for today. Like I said, this is the very first ever para-bench session for USA Powerlifting, a newly instituted division just this year, providing our lifters of varying abilities to allow an opportunity to show their strength on the platform through the bench press.
So exciting to get this going and giving everybody an opportunity to lift, everybody an opportunity to step on the platform and showcase what they're capable of. Starting out with Taylor Gassman with 52 kilos, 114 pounds for Taylor.
Very slow and controlled bench there. Excellent work. And now our lifters are going to be, so they are following all the same rules as USA Powerlifting has for the bench press. So they do have 3 commands: the start, the press, and the rack. So once the lifter has taken the bar out of the rack on their own, shown full contact with 2 hands with the bar, the referee will provide a start command. The lifter then brings the bar to their chest, controlled. Once they show the referee that full motion has stopped on that bar, the referee will give them a press command. The lifter then takes the bar, locks their elbows out fully. Once they show that the arms are locked out fully once again, they are then provided a rack command from that head referee. So 3 commands for our lifters to listen to.
And with that, we head on to James Kaiser with 56 kilos on the bar for his opening attempt, 123 pounds.
Important note for USA Powerlifting's para-bench session, we are following along with the rule book for Move United para-powerlifting sport technical rules. And so we are abiding by all of their rules and regulations for athlete eligibility and such.
As James Kaiser gets the rack command, and the lift is no good. 2-1. He got 2 red cards. So what does the red card typically mean here?
So for here, a red card is going to mean that the bench did not, or the bar did not get in full contact with the chest, or the referee believed that there was not good means to give them a press command in any other fashion. And so in that regard, you'll see a lifter get a red light with a red card underneath that. Some other common infractions could include there being, any up and downward motion of that bar. Maybe they miss a command. But those are some of the more common ones that we'll see as we get into our bench press action here.
So no lift there for James Kaiser, 56 kilos. Still has that attempt on his second to come back and hit it. But for now, we're going to head to Abby Phillipson with 64 kilos, 141 pounds. Abby Phillipson wearing the Michigan singlet.
As an App State alum, I have issue with that, Abby. We'll have to have a talk after the session. Beautiful bench press.
And the lift is waiting a referee signal. Good, 2-1.
2-1, good lift there. Coming up next, Laura Stark. And one thing you're noticing here, so our lifters have the opportunity, because this is a Paralympic session, and so we are following the rules for Move United. We are allowed to take not necessarily 2.5 kilo jumps for our attempts. So we're seeing some of our lifters take 1 kilo jump, 0.5 kilo jump, and that is to allow for the best possible performance for our lifters on the platform and to be able to show their strength as closely as possible.
Laura Stark up next with 72.5 kilos, 160 pounds.
We are scoring this meet via DOTS score. So a DOTS score is just a composite score that powerlifting has in order to allow all of our athletes to stack up against one another, regardless of weight class, gender, age, things like that. And so what DOTS score does is it puts the number that you bench press into a nice little coefficient formula. It's way too calculated, way too mathematical for me to try to explain, but we put that number into a formula, and that formula calculates a score relative to your body weight, your gender, age, and that allows you to just stack up against everybody. And so once we put that into that formula, it's going to spit out a nice little number, and whatever that number is going to determine who our winners are going to be today for the para bench session.
Laura Stark gets the clean lift off from the designated spotter and loader and finishes off with a very smooth attempt and gets the 3 white lights. The lift is good. And we're going to head on to Alex Forstner. 102 kilos, 224 pounds.
Got 102 kilos loaded for Alex Forstner, 224 pounds. About as close as you can get to a 2-plate date in a commercial gym.
224.8. I'll count it. There's some dust on the bar. That'll take care of the extra
chalk,
0.1 pounds that we're missing. That's 225 in my book.
There we go. Alex Forstner in the 80 kilo weight class, weighing 187 pounds. I wonder if he did hit that start command just a little bit early. We'll see what the referees say. Yep,
yeah, good
so
call
that's
there.
what that'll be.
And you've got to wait for that start command from the chief referee. You'll see our referee drop the hand, so they both have the hand signal and the verbal start command.
And now in situations like this where, let's say, a lifter is hard of hearing, they are still, obviously there's a place for them to compete in the para bench. But if there is a lifter who is hard of hearing, or maybe there's just way too much noise going on, we're at the Arnold. There's 10 million things going on right now.
Right.
But the referee can get a little bit closer, give the lifter a tap on the shoulder. Not anything that's going to push them out of position, of course, but they can give them a slight tap on the shoulder, give them that extra signal. And so we might see that later on today if we find that the commands are just a little bit too tough for our competitors to hear. Up next is Curran Marshall, 107 kilos loaded, 235 pounds.
Curran Marshall, this is over twice his body weight opening up. Weighed in at 48.8 kilos, 107. 2 times body weight bench is some serious lifetime milestones.
Here we go, Curran Marshall. Getting the lift off from the coach there.
And 2 times body weight bench as his opener.
That is huge, folks. 2 Wyatt. That's going to be a good lift there. Oh, we're still waiting on the lifting cast. Pause on that. No, that's going to be a no lift 2 to 1 there. Up next, Kaysen Weatherton, taking 115 kilos, 253 pounds. After Kaysen, we've got Alexander and Bobby, and then we're going to go back up to the top of the order here.
$115 kilos, 253 pounds for Kaysen.
And this is a World Paralympic bench, and so this is the same exact bench that they'll use on the international stage, especially built to allow for athletes of all abilities to be able to bench. Here's Kaysen, gets the start.
And Kaysen's lift is good, 2 to 1. So we're seeing all these lights being thrown around. What does the lifter need for it to be a good lift? How many referees do we need for the lift to pass?
Majority rules in powerlifting, as always. So at all times, you're going to have three referees looking at a lift, not to mention a jury in some instances, kind of being that second eye there. But on the platform, as soon as the lifter hits a lift, you've got to convince 2 out of 3 of those referees that it was a good lift, meaning you've got to hit all your markers. You've got to keep full contact with the bench. You've got to hit your pauses. You've got to listen to your commands. And you've got to convince 2 out of 3 of those judges that that was a good lift in order to get 2 white lights. And that's all you need in this sport. 2 white lights out of 3 is majority rules here.
Alexander Salah with 143 kilos, 315 pounds as his opener.
Alexander Salah.
Easy looking opening attempt for Alexander Salah. 2 to 1, the lift is good. And 227 kilos for Bobby Body opening up. Incredible. 500 pounds on the dot. And we're on opening attempts. Bobby Body. 105 kilos body weight this morning. Weighing at 231 pounds. Bobby, show us what you got. 500-pound opener.
Put him in the main competition. My gosh. Bobby Body.
This is incredible.
Also out of Michigan.
Here we go. Bobby Body, 500 pounds. We need 4 spotters on the platform for him. Another Michigan man. Doesn't take a lift off here. He's going to lift this off on his own. Rack height maybe a little tad high. Still gets it off. Oh, my.
Beautiful. And you are allowed to go back. So if you notice that rack height was too high, we saw Bobby had a little bit of trouble getting that right arm out. You are able to go back to the table and get that lowered one. It's just a matter of going back to the table and checking.
That is incredible. 500 pounds is his opener, and he made it look very smooth. At only a 231-pound body weight, as we head back to the top of our flight, starting out with James Kaiser with 57 kilos, 125 pounds. James missed his opener of 56 kilos, only opting to move up a singular kilo, so around 2.2 pounds. Shouldn't be anything too much trouble if he just fixes the technical mistakes. And the bar is loaded for James Kaiser.
And we do not have USA powerlifting referees in the chair. Important to note, we do have Move United referees in the chair. And so they are specially trained to watch Paralympic benching. Again, we are following a different rule book here. While this is a USA powerlifting event, we are following a different rule book. And so while they may share similarities with USA Powerlifting in terms of the disqualification criteria, there are subtle differences here. So as we catch them, we'll be sure to read those out to you.
And James allowing that to sit on his chest here, and then interested to see what was going on there.
Yeah, for that one, it looked like he missed the rack command. It looked like he was waiting for a press command, kind of. Was kind of sitting there waiting a little bit for the referees for a press. But then he kind of pressed it out and threw it right back in the rack, and so that would be that missed rack command there. We see a conversation there, letting the head referee know what's going on there, what the differences are. Maybe we can get something on the board here for James going into our third attempts here. Coming up next, Taylor Gassman.
Taylor taking a 8-kilo jump from her opener, 132 pounds total here. Taylor's opener of 52 kilos was successful.
And again, our lifters are allowed to take minimum jumps here, so they don't have to increase their lifts by 2.5. They can elect to increase by a singular kilo, even a half a kilo if they so choose. Looking at lifting cast here, James Kaiser is going to repeat 57 kilos. It looked easy enough. He was able to press it off of his chest fairly easy there, but I think we're just able to tighten up some things on the technical side and see if he's able to get a bench on the board there. Here's Taylor getting a lift off here.
Nice controlled descent from Taylor. And nice, powerful press on the way up. Gets the rack command, 60 kilos. Waiting a referee signal. Three white lights. The lift is good. Abby Phillipson up next, taking a 2-kilo jump from 64 to 66. Same weight. Oh, no, not the same weight from the previous attempt. 66. The bar is loaded for Abby Phillipson.
It is important to note that, while this is the Paralympic bench, we do have athletes of varying abilities that are going to be taking the platform, and so it's important that we cater to those abilities as we're watching their performance. Here's Abby.
Right, you see the extended bench for the legs to go straight out. Some opt for the strap, some opt to go free without the strap, all by preference for the lifter.
At the very least, all lifters must still maintain full shoulder contact with the bench as well as full buttock contact with the bench. Depending on the lifter's ability, like you said, they may elect to use that strap or not use the strap. like we do have a special bench in the instance that a lifter chooses not to use the strap. They are able to get full contact there. And I think that just speaks to the accessibility of the sport. You know, this is the first year that USA Powerlifting is offering a Paralympic session here on such a high stage at the Arnold Sports Festival. And this wasn't something that you could have gone to the Arnold and watched even just a few years ago. And so this shows the level of not only advancement, but just the level of accessibility that USA Powerlifting is providing for our lifters to be able to provide them this experience on such a high stage.
Right. And at the Arnold Sports Festival, of all spots to be at, it's the biggest sports festival for fitness that you could ever dream of. You know, we spoke about it earlier in the women's session. The bleachers go back to the back of the stadium, and it's an incredible crowd to be able to lift in front of. 77 kilos for Laura Stark, 169 pounds.
There's Laura Stark, 77 kilos, getting a lift off there from her coach. We get the start command here. Beautiful work here, 3 white lights.
Alex Forster with 102. Failed his opener of the same weight, 102, 224 pounds. Coming here to reattempt it on his second.
And that's always the smart decision to do when you have your opening attempt and it's unfortunate that you miss it. You almost always kind of want to retake that just to be sure that you get something on the board.
So we're getting word about what happened on James Kaiser's first attempt. They do not get a press command here. It's different than you'll see in the other sessions. They only have a start and a rack command. So they still have to control it to the chest, and that's to the discretion of the referees. So James Kaiser was waiting for a press command on his second bench, had that resting on his chest for a while, and then when he got to the top, that's when he forgot about the rack command. So focused on the press command, sometimes that rack command tends to leave you a little bit. As we see Alex Forster complete the lift and gets it on the board, 102 kilos,
Good lift there.
226 pounds. Curran Marshall coming up next, 248 pounds, 112 and a half kilos. Making a bit of a jump from his opener. Remember, Curran's bench pressing over twice his body weight. Missed his opener on a technicality. Still deciding to go up.
There we go. Here's Curran getting set up. 248 pounds here. Here's Curran Marshall getting the lift off here. Again, this is 248 pounds. This is second attempt for the para bench.
Curran Marshall, insane to be pressing this weight. I mean, his opener flew.
That's beautiful.
Just he missed it on a technicality, and looks like he gets it here too. Oh, still
Fortunately,
the
still going to be a no lift there.
Talking it over with chief referee here as to what's going on, why he's getting these reds. Oh, they're calling him for soft elbows, it looks like. So your elbows have to be completely locked out at the top, as you see Curran kind of giving them an example of what he should be looking for. As you see our Michigan University coach speaking with the chief referee about how to get this lift on the board. And Curran's now faced with a decision. Do you move up again, or do you just stick with the 112.5? Because remember, you need to get a lift on the board to register as a total.
Again, the safe bet here is probably to just keep the same weight on the board. We know we're able to lock it out already. We know we're able to press it out. We've got the strength for it. It's just a matter of meeting those technical standards.
For sure. We're going to head on to Casey Weatherton. 264 pounds, 120 kilos. Nice 5 kilo jump from his opener.
He's in the men's 88 kilo weight class. And again, these aren't regular USAPL weight classes. We are abiding by the Move United and USA Paralympic rule book. So the weight classes are a little bit different, as are the weight jumps that our lifters can take.
Nice, powerful press from Casey. 3 white lights. The lift is good. We're gonna head on to Alexander Salah. 145.5 kilos, 320 pounds for his second attempt.
Good shout out to our spotters and loaders as well, getting the weight on as quick as they can, making sure each of our lifters have an even playing field, as much time as necessary in order to complete their lift.
And one thing you'll notice here that's different than the standard combo rack is they don't have the crank to adjust that rack height. They have to do that manually. And where that comes into be a problem is when you have Bobby Body coming up next with 235 kilos getting put on the bar, where you're over 500 pounds on the bench. And even Alexander Salah here with a mid-300 bench, you know, having to lift that weight up as a spotter and loader, that's gonna be tough after a while.
That's gonna be heavy.
These lifters making it hard on our spotters and loaders here. Alexander making a 2.5 kilo jump from his opener. And making
Beautiful.
it look
Textbook.
just empty. Empty bar. 3 white lights lift is good. So we head on to Bobby Body. 518 pounds coming up for his second attempt.
So we've got 4 age divisions with our powerlifting, with the Paralympics classes. So Bobby Body is going to be competing in our Raw Legends age division category. Still in our para bench, 107 kilos, 518 pounds. Looking to get the crowd as hyped up as possible, showing them all the love.
It's easy to get the crowd hyped when you got 518 pounds.
Bobby Body again taking his time getting set up under 518 pounds again in our Legends class.
That's such a cool name for the age class, the Legends.
That's right. We've got, well, I mean, they only get better when you say the rest of them.
Yeah.
We've got the rookies, the next gen, the elite, and then the legend. Like, what?
Yeah, I thought Masters was cool. I thought that was a cool name, but I think Legend.
I think legend wins.
Yeah,
by
Legend
far.
wins.
You get in the legend class, you can literally say you're legendary.
Yeah. And just throws 518 through the roof.
Bobby doesn't need a division to tell him who he is. That was a beautiful bench. That's going to be a good lift. 3 white lights.
And we're going to head back to the top of the flight for a third attempt, starting out with James Kaiser, 57 kilos, 125 pounds, reattempting his second attempt. Opener didn't go, second attempt didn't go. He needs this to stay in the meet. James, we know James has the strength for this. It was just a couple of technical issues. Remember, he was waiting for the press command. So he had that bar waiting on his chest for maybe like 10 seconds, and he was still able to easily press it up. So we know the strength is there. He just has to remember the commands here. Start and rack. So he's probably used to watching some of these powerlifting meets where they have a press command, and all the power to him to be able to hold this much weight on his chest for that amount of time. Usually if you hold it there, you're not coming back up after 10 seconds. Ended up racking it a little bit too early, so there he gets the start command. There, he's going to get the rack command.
And that's unfortunately, I fear, going to be red lights there. We did see some up and downward motion, and unfortunately, James not able to post a bench here. However, he is still here at the Arnold. He gets to experience getting to compete on a national level stage at the Arnold.
Right, and that's an experience that nobody can take away from you. 57 kilos, it just went up and down. So once that bench starts that upward motion, it cannot dip back down before you get to the lockout. And we see him just lose a little bit of control there, dips back down. Unfortunately, that's going to be a no lift. We're going to head on to Abby Phillipson with 70 kilos, 154 pounds.
Abby representing Michigan Powerlifting. We see our lifters taking their time getting set up just because bench is such a very high technique lift of the three. You know, you think of squat, bench, deadlift. It takes so much technique to be able to not only hold that weight in your hands, but to be able to manipulate it in such a way that you're able to meet the technical standards of competition and show the true amount of strength that you have on the platform. It's much more of a complex game than these lifters are making it out to be.
Right, and we watch Abby Phillipson finish with a perfect day, 70 kilos, 154 pounds for Abby, as we head on to Tyler Gassman, who's also going to attempt 70 kilos, 154 pounds. Very young lifter in the rookie division.
And our rookie division goes as young as 15.
So she's just getting started in her powerlifting career. Exciting to see where it might take her. It's a great place to start out as the Arnold Sports Festival.
Here we go, making sure we get set up under there, getting the lift off from the coach. This is 154 pounds, 70 kilos on the dot.
Gets the rack command, and let's see what the judges say.
Look clean enough to me.
Ooh,
judges are going to say 2 to 1.
Lift.
That's going to be a no lift, unfortunately. And it looked like we might have had a little bit of an uneven lockout. That is one of our infractions here. If the lifter does lock out unevenly, that is going to be a red light. So that could be possibly what happened there. Yep, we see a little bit of emotion from the coach there, showing that we locked out the left arm right before the right arm.
It's an interesting rule because in typical USA powerlifting format, that's okay. So they're actually holding a higher standard for this bench press. We're gonna head on to Laura Stark with 82.5 kilos, 182 pounds. Laura lifting in the elite category.
Yep, and we're looking at the rule book here. Any uneven extension of the arms during the lift, and so the lifter's arms must stay extended throughout the period of that lockout. If at any point the arm starts to bend or goes into any sort of unlocked out position as the other arm is getting fully locked out for the first time, that's going to cause a no lift there.
That is a very, very strict rule on the bench press, and like I said, it's not something that we're used to seeing typically on a USA powerlifting stage. It's very specific to the para bench, and a little bit of a different standard and a little bit of a higher standard these lifters are going to have to live up to.
This is 181 pounds here for Laura Stark. we go. Gets the lockout. Start command. Strong. Finds her way to lockout. What are the judges going to say?
Three white lights.
Beautiful lift. We're all happy about that one. Thumbs up from the lifter. Thumbs up from the coach.
So big lift coming up for Curran Marshall. 112.5 kilos. 248 pounds reattempting his second attempt. And we know he has the strength for this, but he just kept getting called for those soft elbows. And you saw him give the referee an example of what he could do, and the referee said, yes, if you could do that with the weight in your hands, that would be a good lift. So we know his body is capable of locking out his arms. He's just got to do it with the weight in his hands. 112.5 kilos, 248 pounds for Curran Marshall. Again, incredible body weight to bench ratio, over twice his body weight. Just got to execute here.
It all comes down to being able to fully extend those arms. We did see a little bit of conversation with the head coach and the head referee. They're just going over what that looks like, and so we're able to see if he's able to adapt going into this third attempt. Here we go. We get the unrack.
Two to one.
Good lift. He is on the board. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Big celebration from Curran Marshall.
It's always a sigh of relief when you miss those first two and then you hit it on your third. All the pressure in the world and still coming through. It's so hard to lift in general, and just to be under that much pressure, knowing that it's all or nothing on this one lift, to still come through and be able to hit it.
Coming up right behind, Alex Forstner. Got a little bit of a head start getting out of there, so had to be held up by the coach. Very excited to finish out his bench performance today.
112.5 kilos, 248 for Alex.
We see he is in our next gen age group.
Very
Looks
solid
good
bench.
there. We saw a little bit of increase. Yep, so I believe that head referee saw the butt come up just a little bit on that bench there. Still 2 to 1. Good lift for him. Alex Forstner will finish out with that 248.
We're down to our bottom three lifters of our session here. Kaysen Weatherton with 125 kilos, 275 pounds.
275 pounds. This is going to be our third to last bencher of the day. Kaysen up next. Alexander followed by Big Bobby Body, finishing us out with a 529-pound bench.
Incredible.
Let's see how Kaysen finishes out here again in our next gen age division.
Nice, strong and smooth press from Kaysen, and the lift is good, 2 to 1. And now we're on to Alexander Salah with 150 kilos, 330 pounds.
£330. That's more than, to be honest, I can probably bench at the moment. I haven't trained in like 2 weeks. So I'll be watching closely. I'll be comparing how well I'll be able to hit this in the gym this coming week.
I mean, he hit 143 on his opener, which is 315, which is a huge milestone for most lifters.
And it was fast.
Yep. And now 330, just adding to that. Alexander Salah, the Michigan man. Oh, man.
What? You could have, I feel like he could have very easily put another red on. I feel like that's something you see in the gym all the time.
Yeah.
But no exaggeration. He could have put another red on.
Yeah. And to finish off the day, we got a treat for you with Bobby Body. 529 pounds, 240 kilos. We talk about 300 being a big milestone. We talk about 405 being a big milestone. We talk about 500 just alone being a big milestone. 529 for Bobby. Incredible. And at a body weight of only 105 kilos, 231 pounds.
Big Bobby Body with a big bench, 240 kilos.
2.25 times his body weight. And he's getting the crowd hyped up, and this is an easy lift to get hyped up for, let's be honest. I mean, my goodness.
This is huge, 500 pounds. This is more than most lifters can deadlift.
Right.
And Bobby Body is out here throwing it up with just his arms. Exceptional talent here from Body.
And you add in the fact that he's not using leg drive. With his legs up, he can't use leg drive.
Absolutely, it's an important rule, especially for our Move United rule book here. For our lifters who are in that amputee division, they're not allowed to use their prosthesis for part of their leg drive. They have to keep their legs extended here.
And the amount of stability that it takes out of the movement from having your legs up is insane. I can't believe he's doing this with his legs straight out in front of him. It's essentially like doing a Larson press.
Solid pause as well.
Oh,
can he find his way? He does. Are they going to give him the lockout?
Point, but otherwise looked very good. Anxious moments as we wait the referee decision. 3 white lights,
and
the lift is good. And what a way to cap off our Paralympic session here.
Big Bobby Body finishing out with 500 pounds on the bench and wrapping up our coverage of the para bench for USA Powerlifting here at the Arnold Sports Festival. It's been a wonderful show here. We've got one more session on the day here for USA Powerlifting. We've got our male raw challenge coming up here shortly in 2 o'clock. So be sure to go ahead and take your break, sit back, relax, grab some snacks, and we will see you here in just a few minutes. My name is Nick Stevens.
And I'm Lance Lund, and we'll see you soon.
All right, be well.
Here we go, bars loaded. Here we go, bars loaded.